Oops. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what is so crazy about America is that in our efforts to be superior, we actually want to claim that we are God. And I'm not talking about everybody, even though it takes everybody for it to be carried forward. I heard this guy here talking about doing things in America the way they do in South Africa or wherever Musk is from. And it sounds so weird. These guys, you would think if you've lived long enough and you've judged and you recognize dangers and you recognize things that are not comfortable, that you take it and identify it, then you regulate it to protect yourself from the dangers. You regulate it to protect other people from the dangers. And you've already done this, right? Whether it's in just government, whether it's in all the various departments that's involved in government, whether it's in religion, all that kind of stuff. You got guidelines because you've been here long enough to get some sense. But all of a sudden, you get some people in office who don't have any sense at all. None. So they tell you that the strategy is get rid of all those regulations. Rid of all the regulations. Just get rid of them because we're wasting money. Now, that's what we do is when somebody is victimized by the lack of regulation, then we maybe add that one back. That talk like a bunch of fools. Straight up fools. Nobody in their right mind can think like that or whatever contemplates doing stuff like that. So if you're doing it, you're out of your right mind if you ever had one. What I want to say to the men of the world, men, you have a responsibility to the family if you got one, and you have a responsibility to humanity if you're here. You are to protect humanity from anything that would violate the continuity of a peaceful, wonderful, gracious life. Let me tell you, in heaven, everybody got a job. So if you think you're going to heaven, you better start practicing on making sure that you got a job and everybody else got a job. See, it's not so much about you got a job. Everybody got a job in heaven. And you're not satisfied on earth if everybody doesn't have a job because that doesn't practice the principles of heaven. So down here where people don't have jobs, that's because that's a demonic activity. Now, rather than me just adding all of that, I'm just going to say jobs allows you to benefit from everything that's done. A job in heaven or on earth. Well, in heaven it happens. On earth, you're qualified. It doesn't happen. If you got a job, you are participating in life. If you got a job, I don't care what that job is. It could be raking leaves. But if you got a job, it's playing a part in life. And by playing a part in life, you are entitled to the benefits of life. And what are they, you men? Is to make sure that your family got everything that they want, need, or desire. From food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, infrastructure, insurance, whatever that they need is your job. But let me tell you what you men have done. You men have acquiesced. You ever seen dogs? You got a alpha dog, right? He's supposed to be running wherever wherever the dogs are, dog pound. He's running it, boss. And somebody else get fed up with him one time and say, I'm gonna challenge this. That dog go and challenge, and this goddamn alpha dog raise up and start doing everything. And all the other dogs in the pound come and help the alpha dog. And all of a sudden you see that the losing dog just humble. Some of you got pets, animals, little dogs, and sometimes they get scared, afraid of you. And when you come toward them, they just humble over, turn over on their belly, humble like, I can't do nothing. They give up. And that's what the men of the world have done. They just given up. You let niggas like Putin, who all these other guys who want to call themselves God and ready to kill you if they can't manipulate you. What I say they're ready to kill you if they can't manipulate you. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is ready to kill anybody in this country. It doesn't matter if it's Obama, Biden. It doesn't matter if people in the Supreme Court. Donald Trump is ready to kill anybody in this country that he can't control if he thought he could get away with it. It wouldn't mean nothing. And you know, the American people put that in the White House. They put that demon in the White House. Donald Trump is a demon. You think I got his attention? I'm not trying to get Donald Trump's attention. Donald Trump is not going to change. I'm trying to get your attention. I want you to know that you're the one got to look out for this demon. You better do what you're supposed to do with demons. Now, men, I know you can just look at the men on the street. You see some men with nice cars, other men with old ratty cars. You see some men doing something, you see other men ain't doing that. You some men got nice houses, other men living in junk. You see some people who got some men who got nice stuff and other men who got nothing. That's that puppy that humbled under that demon dog, that alpha dog. And what but these are no dogs. These are demons. These alpha demons who will do anything to mess you up. No, there's nothing wrong with competition. You compete for fun. That's what you do in football, basketball. It's for fun. Who put the money in it? Who put the money in? That's what you call what? Put the money in it and just messed up everything. Just exploited the sport of having fun. Now you got people on, hey, let's see who the fastest. So everybody got to buy a ticket. Come here. Now we're going to get people, pay them a little stipend. Now you're going to raise it up. By next thing you know, people raising down the track, getting $100,000 a year for raising down the track that they get out of your pocket when you could have seen it all for nothing. But you set in motion a system that is not engaging life or the people. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's the few people trying to use the world as their stepping stone, and the rest of the folks just letting them do it. This is why the church is supposed to be here. The church is to be here to remind people of God, because folks, you don't know God, but that means the church has failed, and you know they failed. How in the world could they not fail? When Donald Trump first turned, you had all of these white churches, that know that Donald Trump is a demon, putting hands on him to be president of the United States. See, that's what I'm talking about. They set the law aside. They set the Constitution aside to make sure that Donald Trump was president. So all the screwing and messing over people that's happening right now could happen. It's a setup. They might not accomplish everything this time like they wanted to accomplish it before. They did enough. They doing more this time. But it doesn't matter if it's Trump or not. They just setting things up to happen. And we, the people sitting around, let me ask you something. What are we doing? What are we doing? We know this is not right. We know we don't want this. We know we want something, but what are we doing? Sitting around me. Look at me. I'm sitting there talking to you. Like my talking to you gonna cause you to do something. Well, not really. When people talk, they think you are ignorant, and they think that just by talking, they might educate you, and you might stop being ignorant and do something. So the talking is necessary. I'm not trying to say the talking isn't necessary. Talking indicates that you at least see what's going on. My point of it is, ladies and gentlemen, what's the outcome? What's the outcome? If America's hurting, not all of us, but people are using people, abusing people, lying, cheating, trying to exploit, trying to get over, trying to take advantage of. You know what the outcome of that is? But if people are standing up for what's right, making sure that the light is shining, protecting one another, God, dog, you can't beat that. But the world, I'm gonna tell you, it's some people in America, black too, that's just as evil as white folk. But it's not enough of them. They put their little numbers in sometimes. But white folks, it's enough of you to keep the America screwed up until until the war comes, until something happens. They get the equation messed up. Ain't that something? We got to wait on something like that. And we call ourselves children of God. We call ourselves lovers. We call ourselves complaining about Trump. Complaining don't mean a darn thing. Without action, that mean a thing. You know, these other countries where this whole kind of debacles and stuff take place, people get up. Now, don't tell me it's going to take at least 50%, 60%, 70% of every population in every state to gang up and go down to Washington and tell Donald Trump to get his ass out of here and mean it. Because the Supreme Court kind of act like you can't handle it. The Supreme Court act like they can't handle Donald Trump. The Supreme Court needs help. The innocent God-fearing people, whoever they might be. Well, you know who they are because they're standing up. They need help. You see, when you look at these ICE agents, what are they doing? You see how they mistreating these people? They just mistreat them. These people haven't been adjudicated for this kind of activity. This is inborn hate. You've seen it all over the world. These are these ICE agents. Look how they treat these people. What's up with that? What's down with beating people, dragging them? You could still walk out of here if that's the case. You could walk out of here if it was legal. You could walk out of here if it was a righteous thing. But being unrighteous, you ain't worth a damn. Let me say that again. Being unrighteous, you are not worth a damn.